Hello, and welcome to the ArtistWorks Mandolin Roundtable live stream. My name is Marcus, and I'm really excited to be bringing back this amazing group of mandolin masters today. Thanks for joining us here today. Please drop a like on this channel if you like what you're seeing, and let us know where you're watching from in the comments. We really always love to hear where people are tuning in from. As we get into this, we're going to be taking your questions live. So if you have any questions for our guests today, please just drop them in the comments and we'll get to as many as we can. So without further ado, it's my great privilege to introduce our amazing roster of ArtistWorks mandolin instructors here. Here to talk all things Mando with you today. Please welcome Sierra Hull, Caterina Lichtenberg, and Mike Marshall.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Hey, Sierra.
Hi. Hey, guys. How are you?
Good. Nice to be together again.
Oh, so fun.
I'm seeing some folks already saying where they're watching from. That's good to see. There's
And we are all
Yeah.
spread around, right? So, Marcus, you're in Florida, and Sierra, where are you again?
I'm in Nashville.
Nashville. And where are you, Mike?
Oh, I'm right here next to you. Funny that.
Oh my God,
Place.
I can actually touch you. So we are in Germany right now.
Yes. Many of you might not know that we are actually connected not only through the mandolin, but through life itself.
Yeah.
Our favorite mandolin duo couple. We love it.
Also.
Yeah,
Awesome.
so
Well, on that note, do you want to kick us off here with some music from over there?
yeah, we probably should do that, huh?
Yeah.
Let's get right to it. For those of you who don't know, this is a big mandolin. This is a mandocello, a Monteleone mandocello.
And this is a small mandolin,
That's a
the normal.
beautiful German Italian style
Bowlback.
bowlback mandolin, which Caterina uses primarily.
It's actually a new instrument. I'm playing it today, the first time ever in public. So, wow! I hope it sounds good on the internet.
And who built that beautiful instrument?
It's an instrument made by Alfred Woll, and this is a really beautiful rosewood.
Yeah.
Rosewood, yeah.
So here's a little Bach for you. I'm playing the left hand of one of his keyboard
I
works.
better put my glasses on.
The Invention number 3 from Johann Sebastian Bach. Hey!
That's so good.
I know one person was clapping. That's good.
That's right. That's so fun.
Johnstown, Pennsylvania. I'm a member of 3 of your schools. Wow, that's pretty cool.
How awesome.
Well, Sierra, where are you? You're in Nashville, so you just getting off the road, or I figured?
Yeah. I just got back a few days ago. Sunday evening, I guess. So literally just a couple days ago. But yeah, I was gone for a pretty lengthy tour on the West Coast over the last 3 weeks. So I was kind of.
Did you make it to our town of Oakland, California, by chance?
We were in California. We did. Let's see. We did San Diego. We did Santa Barbara. We did.
Nothing in San Francisco area, the Bay Area.
Yeah, well, the closest thing we did was Napa.
Oh, yeah.
So not too far. Yeah, we played in Napa. Yeah. So we got 3 California shows. Good time of year to be out there. Whew, it's nice weather.
Nice. Yeah.
It's actually always nice there. Whatever time you pick, it's always much better than many other places. Yeah. Yeah, right now
Exactly.
in Germany, it's very beautiful
It's
here
real.
too.
We're really lucking out here at the
Springtime,
moment.
sunshine, very
Here
unusual.
in Nashville too, honestly. I was like, I think about, summer's just around the bend, and that
You can feel
humidity and those hot days are coming,
Oh,
but
yeah, you get that southern thing.
it's humid here in Nashville, but it's pretty nice right now. We've had like 60s and 70s and just, a little bit of rain this week, but yeah, that
Right.
nice
So many
breezy
people.
weather.
There's from Florida, Indiana, Denver, New York,
Yeah,
Israel. Wow, so
that's
many people.
cool.
Yeah.
They have questions too. I hope
Yeah.
they will post their questions. How about a Mandocello course? Well, that's funny because I do teach Mandocello on the site. It's not actually set up as a curriculum, but I get a lot of folks sending me things. So anybody who wants to send any Mandocello to me, they're more than welcome, and I'll do my best to help them out. But I'd love to hear Sierra play a little something. So
Yeah. Well, so my course, I know, like you're talking about covering the Mandocello, obviously the classical kind of repertoire. My course primarily focuses on bluegrass mandolin, so a lot of fiddle tunes and stuff like that, kind of your standard stuff. And this tune that I thought I might play for you, I know you guys will know, but it's not necessarily one that I grew up jamming on, but it's become a bit of standard, standard of sorts, called New Chance Blues by Norman Blake. Something like that.
Great tune. Norman Blake. Oh my gosh. I grew up with all of his recordings and learned a bunch of that stuff. And didn't Tony Rice and him record that? Or did Tony?
They did, yeah. They did on one of their guitar duet albums.
Right on. That's beautiful tune and beautiful
Yeah.
playing.
Just jamming that one with my bandmates not too long ago, so that's a fun one.
Well, I don't know. I thought we would talk a little
so
bit
people
about.
were asking here about some exercise for the left hand and right hand, and I did find out, Sierra, that even I am coming from the classical background, but many similarities we have all. We all are trying to be very loose in our right hand and not hold the pick too tight, right? So it's the same thing. Even so, if you play bluegrass or classical, doesn't matter, right?
Sure.
There's one question there. What is your best advice for managing tension? I'd be curious to know what each of you would say about that.
Yeah, well, quite a bit of right hand questions, I guess. Somebody on here was saying about, staying loose, pick hold, left hand accuracy. I do think it's a work in progress, right? So much to do with the right hand, rather, when we're working on that kind of stuff. You also can't neglect the left hand, because I think if you have tension here, you're probably going to have tension here. So the hands kind of work in tandem together, where it's like if one side of you is tensing up, or you find yourself feeling like you're struggling with left hand accuracy, it's probably going to make your right hand tense up too. So it's about for me at least, just trying to remember that you don't have to work quite as hard as you think you do most of the time. But I do think there's something to be said about early on. Certain things are just going to be hard, and until you've done enough repetition, you've done enough of that actual muscle, practice, basically, to get things to where it can feel a little looser.
Do you sometimes recommend that folks lower their action or use lighter strings as beginners?
Yeah, I've never used lighter strings. I think that's totally a valid thing to think about, but I've always kept my action quite low.
Yeah.
So mandolin is tough. It's tough. We got
Yeah,
two
it
strings
takes a
we're
lot
trying to
of
press
strength.
down. It's a high tension instrument. So, I
Break
mean,
the
especially like,
color.
if you,
Yeah.
yeah, before you have your calluses and things like that, it can be really difficult to get a clean sound out of the instrument. One thing that I think that I've noticed when I've talked about this with a lot of my students is a lot of folks don't really think about the building the accuracy on the left hand of kind of keeping your finger really close to that fret, and
Yeah.
how if you're looking for a clean sound, even just like slow repetition to where you're building a strong landing point on every fret.
Right.
Part of the time it's not necessarily that you're not pushing hard enough or that your action's too low, but that your accuracy on your landing point with your finger is not necessarily in
Right.
the spot that's going to give you the most clarity of the tone. So like being able to think about keeping that finger
Nice and
not
close.
quite on top of it, but nice and tight to where that fret is. You think, if I was a beginner and nobody told me that, I would probably think, well, you'd be landing for the center of the fret, having your finger somewhere in the middle. But you really want to be, if we say, middle finger, third fret, first string, you really want to have that finger almost just
On it.
dead behind that fret, to be able to get the cleanest sound, which also just allows you to be able to have a slightly lighter touch than having to push down quite as hard, So a lot of times I think if people skip over that step and they don't take the time to build the slow fundamentals of the landing point, keeping your fingers close to the
Yeah.
fretboard, that kind of thing.
I also notice a lot of students will come off of the note rather quickly.
Yeah.
And I'm often advising them to make sure they're getting the full length of note with their left
Sure.
hand,
Yeah. Building that sustain.
and leaving it down for just a little bit longer to get this tone to really blossom.
Also, I think this to be loose with the fingers, it's also a general thing, as you said, Sierra. It's not just the left or the right hand; it's sometimes also in the body. And what I find out is very helpful, especially when you have like a ball back, but it's also works with a Gibson mandolin, is to really hold it with your body. And so sometimes I see people they're holding it on the right hand and then they're holding the neck, and so a lot of energy
Tension comes from
is
those
going by holding
weird
just the
posture
instrument.
things.
And
Yeah.
if you are like loose and you can hold it with your body and put the tension into your legs or whatever, and then you can be really free here, and that's also very nice, maybe helping a lot. And we have the same thing playing close to the fret. It's the same thing, and also to leave the finger, as you said, yeah, to not automatically when when your right hand goes up, that you shouldn't automatically also skip. Leave the finger while you do this, and then so you do those long notes, right?
I'm looking at a question here. There's so many. People
Lots of
are
them coming in. Yeah.
Right.
The difference in between Ballback and Gibson? Well, not really. A little bit maybe, because
Well, the same notes.
Let's
That's the
see.
thing.
What's the difference? I'm afraid I'm missing my belly.
Wait, I need this
Oh
thing.
my
You'll
God.
notice she uses this rag,
So with-
which really helps hold the bowl
Yeah.
back so it doesn't slip.
But it's not really very different.
This one makes me want to tremolo more.
You look very Italian with this mandolin. Yeah.
But yeah, you can take lessons with Caterina on any kind of mandolin, and
Yes.
certainly with any of us
Yes.
on whatever you're playing. We mentioned the mandocello. I'm sure you have some octave mandolin people coming to your site, Sierra, since you play the big instrument too. That's a great sound and a wonderful way to expand your sound as a mandolin player without having to learn anything new, really. It's a little bit different
Totally.
fingering maybe, but it's the same notes.
Totally. Well, what about, like, I sort of was talking a lot about the left hand. Do you guys want to talk about pick holder? And I know that you use a different kind of pick, don't you, Katerina?
I have
like-
do you see this? Like
Yeah.
it's like this.
And it's very soft. It bends. Show them how it bends.
It's it is it is not necessarily for the American string. It's a little bit better for the smooth tomastic strings. Otherwise, you get those scratches. So, but if you like to have maybe not so much noises on the string, so this makes a lot of noise, right?
The wound strings
And
like
I don't
we
have
use.
I don't have this, just a little bit. So I try to not have so much noises. So and then the pick on top, it makes it even softer. And so we hold it in the classical mandolin world like very loose, and then also I teach a lot of those angles. Instead of taking the string out, I'm more pushing it into the instrument to get the bigger sound, instead of, I don't know if you can hear
I
that.
talk a lot about that with my students to make sure that you're playing both pairs of strings when you pluck down and when you pluck up. It's a very similar kind of idea as opposed to kind of wrapping around the pairs. You want to get the full tone from each string on both the down and the up. And again, that relaxed feeling, a lot of it has to do with how you hold the pick. I'm curling the fingers. You're probably doing, I think we're probably all doing something very similar.
Mm-hmm.
And the picks is kind of on the side of the index.
I don't curl so much.
As opposed to on the fleshy part of, sometimes you'll see people
I
playing
have
on
a
the
little bit
fleshy
more
part.
straight. That's the difference, yeah.
Yeah. What's your pick grip, Sierra?
So I usually tell folks if they just kind of stick their hand out like they're going to shake someone's hand,
Mm-hmm.
kind of like this, and then just kind of relax it in. And then I take the pick, I use the point as well. Some people I know use the more rounded edge, but I kind of put it at a little bit of an angle so that it's not a ton of pick, but kind of more like that. And again, just a relaxed fist inward. So my fingers are pretty tucked. It's kind of like if you were just doing this. And then you see if I can, and then you
But
just
don't
kind of
want it in
slide
there.
it in.
You don't curl them all the way into the palm, do you?
I mean, very relaxed. I'm not making a strong curl. It's just kind of like whatever's comfortable to sort of relax the
people do
fingers.
is hang their hand off the end of their leg. And then the way that the fingers naturally fall is kind of that angle.
I say the same thing.
Do
That
you
makes
really?
a lot of sense. Yeah.
And then you just place the pick on there and the thumb on top of it.
Now I find for me, like, and different people do it different ways. Like if I try to play with more of the finger out, I don't have the support of this part of my hand. Like it sort of seems a little bit easier when my finger is at a little bit of an angle. Now I use a thicker pick too. And most bluegrassers have a little bit of a thicker pick where it's not moving as much. And that's kind of my way of combating that ticky sound. You're talking about the different kinds of strings and stuff like that. If I use too much pick, probably, I don't know if it'll translate so well like over the live stream here, but there's a difference in, say, if this is the normal tone I'm going for, which is trying to eliminate any of that ticky kind of thing. If you
What is the
bring,
name of the pick for the Thomastic string? Somebody's asking.
Oh yeah, my pick is a German pick. It's called Woll. It's actually very similar like the mandolin maker. So Woll, that's a Woll pick, and Wolle actually with an E in the end. And you can buy it, in Germany online or at the Treacle company or.
What is yours currently, Sierra?
I'm using a blue chip. I've used one for many, many years now, really since before. I remember getting a blue chip when they just had a phone number. Matt came up to me at like Spigma or somewhere at a jam and was like, here you go. And I was a teenager. So honestly, I've used these picks for so many years. There's a lot of really great picks out there these days. So, yeah.
We've found this material that doesn't wear out, which is really great. So I'm working with the Apollo company, and they've made me two really nice picks. One is brighter; it's a black one, and the other one is more tan colored, and that's a softer tone. Sometimes I'll use that. And unfortunately, at the moment, I grabbed the Mandocello, and it had the pick in it, which is a Gilchrist pick that I like on the Mandocello. So I'm using that on both of these right now. It's very similar.
What I also recognized is that I use when I try to play a very nice sound, I'm trying to imagine that I almost don't have a pick in between my fingers. So I'm kind of with a downstroke. I imagine that I'm just using my thumb. Yeah, and the pick is just in between, but I'm imagining that I'm actually, the thumb is more in charge when we do the downstrokes. And we do a lot of arpeggio techniques also in the classical music. So
Somebody's asking, where do you anchor your hand when you're doing
here,
that?
I'm not having my hand here.
On the bridge
No,
at all?
I'm having my balance here in the arm.
On your forearm.
And so I'm a little bit going kind of around here.
You know, one of the cool things about ArtistWorks, these videos that we've made, is they filmed us with 3 cameras really close in, so you can really see this exactly what we're doing, and we talk about it in great detail. I'm sure you do too, Sierra, on your site. The very beginning of your curriculum, you probably got deep into it, right?
Yeah, definitely, because I think it's those earliest steps, and even if somebody's been playing a long time, but they come to the course, I always am like, it's good to kind of just go back and check in, not because you think, oh, my way is the gospel and somebody needs to just absolutely do it that way, but I do think there are a lot of similarities to any of your favorite players that you love. Anybody who's like successful at, reaching a certain tempo or being able to get a certain kind of sound out of the instrument. There are, some differences in the way we do it, but they're usually pretty minimal differences. A lot of the fundamentals are pretty true, across the board. So I think just checking in on some of those, making sure that you're trying to build good fundamental things is huge if you really want to get to the next step. Otherwise you can kind of get to a certain place and hit a wall and never really be able to progress beyond that. And that can become really frustrating for a lot of folks. And it can seem odd if you've been like, well, I've been playing 4 or 5 years, but I can't get past this. And then sometimes I'll have people go back to the beginning, and then they'll go, oh, I'm not reaching a new breakthrough because I'm suddenly realizing some small, but not small thing in my technique.
Right. And that's also the beauty of these video exchanges that we do, because there's so much information out there that you can study on the web, right? Obviously, any tune you want to learn, there's probably somebody teaching it. But for us to be able to see you play it and then say, there's just this one little thing you're doing in this one section that's holding you up, it might be something you couldn't catch yourself.
Totally.
That's just to preach the gospel about this system. I'm just such a believer in what we've been able to accomplish, touching so many lives and helping them out in little tiny ways, like you said. Sometimes it's just, gee, you should turn your thumb a little more down, or you're using a lot of thumb on the back and forth. You'll see some of this.
Or your shoulder
sometimes.
is up. Often I see the shoulder.
Things that people don't see in themselves.
Right? Or sometimes when you play with music sheet, I see sometimes people have the music like here, so the neck is on this side, but they look like there. And and just this little help, it makes such a difference to get the thing in order,
Gosh,
Totally.
the questions are just firing away.
Yeah.
Rena and Mike, do you
take it in turns to change the mandolin strings? No, we have his and her string changers. The ones here, and I change the ones here.
But I recognize that Mike changes much more often than me. I sometimes leave like many months my strings on the mandolin. For some reason, the Tomastic strings, they last long, but also they sound a bit better after you break them a little bit in like 10 days. And I think it's different to your
Well,
strings.
the new Diodario strings, the SX, I think they're called. I'm loving those. Are you?
Yeah. That's what I'm...
Man, they're amazing.
I'm like, wow, where have these been my whole life? Because I used to change strings like on tour. I used to almost have to change strings like every day almost, especially like doing stuff with Bela Fleck where we'd play these really long sets and we'd have long sound checks and things. It's like half the time I'd be like, don't change strings before sound check because, they sounded really good, but they would just be, a little more dead come showtime or whatever. And then by the end of the show, they'd be toast. My fingers would be like turning green from and like these strings, I'm like, man, you can really get a lot of life out of them. And, the intonation gets
4
a little
or 5
wrong,
shows, right?
Yeah. Which, it's like, hallelujah.
Yeah, the Tomasics are much more
Yeah.
forgiving in that way.
Very, and I am also lucky because I have pretty dry hands. So I have students who are very sweaty. They have sweaty hands, so they have to change much more often. And that's, sometimes the strings actually turn really green because of all the moist. But my fingers are very dry, so that's why maybe also in addition I can play them much longer. Yeah.
Here's somebody who's saying, I tend to anchor my pinky when playing guitar or banjo, but my sense is that it's not the best practice for mandolin.
Oh, you want me to
Yeah,
take that one?
take that
Well,
one.
well, so I basically used to play when I first started playing mandolin. I played with a closed hand, but I had really, really small hands. So, I was like 8 years old. And so my hand wouldn't really extend very far beyond the bridge. And I
Right.
realized I couldn't quite get the tone I was chasing. And then the guy that I took some mandolin lessons from, he anchored two fingers,
Wow.
more like a banjo player, way up here though. And, and you sometimes get that more clicky thing, which somebody's kind of asking about too, I think. And so then I started kind of like realizing, well, that doesn't work so well for me, because one thing with the right hand technique that I always try to teach people, at least, the way that I've come to do it, is that I'm trying to not use like a ton of pick, because I find the more pick I use, the more it can wiggle and wobble. So like I'm trying to go, how can I have enough pick to get around and do what I need, but also have a pretty stable grip on the pick without needing to like add a bunch of thumb pressure, while still trying to be relaxed. So wanting it to have a good enough, give, so to speak, that it's not going tick, tick, tick on the string, for example, like the difference in.
I'm guessing that you're angling the pick as you hit the string, you're actually coming at it at a slight angle. By
Exactly. And
raising
so,
you're getting that.
yeah, so I think most people, if you just kind of hold your instrument, and I think even in the classical sense, you've got the neck of your mandolin just kind of tilted slightly rather than way down here or way up
Yeah.
here, just kind
Yeah.
of looking for that comfortable. If you were to stand with your strap on, how would the instrument kind of fall? And
Yeah.
you mentioned your arm guard. I mean, you can see where my mandolins just wore
Right.
out from the same thing. Having the arm anchored comfortably, though, not coming at it like I'd have to work to come at it from up here, or my strap would have to be super high. But if I just kind of relax and let the right arm fall where it falls,
That's
which,
it.
see if I can
Pretty
show you a
much.
little better, but there's a certain natural angle that your pick has. And if you were going to make it flat on the string, you'd almost have to kind of contort the wrist to make that
That's
happen.
right.
So
That's
because I have small hands, though, even to this day, if I anchor, and I mean, like I grew up a big Adam Steffi fan, for example,
Yeah, he
awesome
does.
player. He anchors, he makes it happen. There's plenty of people who use that technique. When I moved to guitar playing, I still kind of go to that because I grew up loving Tony Rice, so there's Brian Sutton, there's plenty of folks who play with that anchored technique, and it's awesome. I just found for me, it gave me a lot of tension in this part of my arm when the tempos would get really, or if I did too much
What
cross
happens
picking.
is people tend to use their whole arm when they're anchoring with their pinky, and I'm always gravitating towards trying to get the motion to come out of the wrist more. Or it's a combination of wrist and arm. It's
Exactly.
almost like you're throwing a baseball. You have to
Yeah.
have both. It's not
Well, if
all
I go full wrist,
all
like
arm.
if I plant and I go full wrist, so I don't really like plant behind the bridge, but if I did that, for example, the same problem would be true of anchoring. So if I anchor and I don't move my hand at all, I might have the right pick angle on the string, which is a slight little angle, not flat on the string, but a slight angle for like the A string and the D string, but my hand's too small that if I need to fully extend to go up to the G string, well, then suddenly my pick angle is different.
Angle,
So I'm
yeah.
always looking for consistency across all the strings to try to keep that
And so
angle.
not anchoring is an
And so
argument.
there's a little bit of arm that has to happen, because if I just planted back here, it'd be the same problem, So it's a very subtle like grazing of this part of my hand behind the bridge that I feel, but I'm not fully free floating. Some people free float. I have a little bit of a reference of feeling the string behind the bridge,
Tell
but it's
folks
not.
that they should
Yeah.
rest ever so gently on the strings behind the bridge.
Yeah.
Because to me, it's just enough to give you a guide to know whether you're playing the A string or the D string,
Totally. Yeah.
Otherwise, it's like trying to write on a piece of paper without touching it,
Exactly. Yeah, totally.
kind of need to be
Well,
down on there. You don't touch it all?
I'm using a lot,
The
as I said,
arm.
I'm not pushing, but it's my control. And when I play on the different strings, I'm
You're
kind of
moving the
a
whole
little bit
arm.
moving the arm. But it's everything is coming out of the wrist, of course. I'm not everything, but
Let me
as
see.
you say, we do both things, you know. But I'm kind of having this.
Delighted.
I learned with the finger. I learned to have the finger here. So I actually had a hole in my mandolin
First
when I was a
mandolin.
child
Oh,
because of using so much the finger. And then I had also here a little hole here because I never moved my thumb.
oh my
So
God.
everything was like, I guess,
That
very
was the
tight.
Russian school.
Yeah, the Russian school. And, and then I had to really learn a little bit to loosen up and using more, and really being more smooth. And it's so much better. But as you also said, I'm not putting my finger on the top because I don't want to also mute the sound. So when you put your finger on the board, it's kind of you take away some sound. So I'm trying to not do this. So I touch a little bit my bridge as you guys, I guess, but not pushing, just touching and here. So I have like those two
Yeah.
connections and yeah, whatever. With tremolo
Let
also.
me see. I mean, you're grazing the bridge a little bit.
Yeah, but I'm not pushing. I'm
No,
touching it.
no. Just barely touching. That's what I
Yeah.
tell people.
Yes.
Like lightly kind of grazing.
Maybe even behind a little bit, right? Otherwise, I would mute.
The main thing is what you said earlier, Sierra, is that you have a sound in your head that you want to get. And you do whatever you have to your body to get that sound, is what I'm always.
And I will say, like, some of it depends on what you're trying to do on the instrument too. Like I use, say the Adam Steffi or, the Sam Bush kind of reference a little bit for the sort of anchoring kind of thing more than like, the way you would play or the way Chris Thiele would play or there's kind of some more cross-picking stuff in some of the types of pieces you're trying to play on the instrument. Whereas, that straight ahead bluegrass kind of, when I think of like all the, say, Adam Steffi solos that I learned, still one of my favorite players to this day, there's like a heaviness to that tone that I really love and was heavily, in all puns intended, influenced by. But like when you hear that, there's a heaviness to like that E string sound when you're anchoring. And I do like the sound of that, but I would find when I was trying to play something like it's like it's too much of that
Get
kind
all
of rolly thing.
Yeah.
I would get so tired because there's so much more of this happening. Whereas a lot of the real straight ahead bluegrass thing, you might play three or four notes on one string, and then you
Things
move
on
to the
one
next string.
string
It's like kind of a more horizontal,
Yeah. Sure.
melodic approach than this super vertical, water flowy thing. So it kind of depends on what you're trying to do on the instrument, I think, as well.
Absolutely. When you do the cross
The
picking
cross picking,
techniques,
yeah,
it's
or when
so
we do
different.
those, yeah.
Then there's this roll that happens.
So I feel like here I have here my. So I have this contact here, which helps me to not even look at my strings, and I know where I am. So I because of this, I can really predict which string is where, So I'm not floating in the air, as you said. And we also play. I'm changing sometimes a little bit the angle of the picks when I want to have a very soft sound. I kind of do a little bit more like an angle to get the soft sound. And when I do tremolo, I'm getting more straight, more parallel to the strings because I don't want so much surface.
Yeah. What about tremolo? Do you do a lot of
tremolo?
tremolo?
I think tremolo is one of the hardest things on the instrument to do really well, I think, I think whenever I go for more of a single kind a single note tremolo, my technique probably doesn't change that much. If I go for a more double stop, I definitely loosen even
So
more,
loosen the pick grip.
and even take my pick grip looser. Yeah.
Has to go looser.
It almost has to, unless you really are like, then my arm, if I don't, it requires more arm, like kind of, tensing up. You kind of almost have to go one way or the other. You're going to really push down with the thumb, get more strength here. Can't be done. Or just totally let.
Pull the pick out of the string and play on top of the string and let there be some flop in the
I kind of like the sound of that more picky tremolo too. It's like most of the time I spend the majority of my time trying to avoid the sound of the pick. Hence what I was talking about earlier. Like if there's too much pick, that I don't know if that really translates on the thing, but there's more of a kind of thing that happens. Whereas if I just choke up on the pick just a little bit, I'm not changing my grip or anything. Just
much better.
There's just you just hear less of the pick. Like the pick to me is just a tool to make the note sound. You don't want to like hear the pick. But on tremolo, actually hearing the pick a little bit can sort of add to the texture of it sometimes, I think. So it depends,
Exactly.
Like you can definitely hear the kind of thing happening from the pick if you loosen.
We call this crispy, like when the leaves in the autumn are coming down and they dry out. So when you walk
on them.
So this is the sound a little bit what is making this tremolo. All right.
Someone's asking, how do you tremolo on a mandocello, especially the bottom string? Like that. Just very similar, actually.
That's how you do it, folks.
You got a wider stroke going on. But you don't want to grab the pick too tight, because otherwise I tell people it gets stuck. If you're gripping too tight here, it's like trying to go over speed bumps without shock absorbers. And if you loosen the grip, it gives, and it comes back off the string after the downstroke, the upstroke.
Sounds very nice. Like
what
to
other
sit
questions
right
do
next
we
to
have?
the mandocello.
Any suggestions for a fiddle player thinking of learning mandolin?
Oh,
Tuning
yes,
is the same.
definitely. There's like mandolin methods from the 18th century, and they are written even in the pre-word. When on the first page it says, this is a method for violin players to learn the mandolin. So it's actually has a tradition, when you play the violin and then you can play the mandolin. And there's actually also up to date, there are great violin players. I really like Giulio Galfetti. He's a great amazing Baroque violin player, but he also plays the mandolin very well.
And they will these violinists learn very quickly that that's where the real money is. You see.
Yeah, and look, then we have another animal here. Look at this. It's my little Baroque mandolin. It's actually a lute. So if we have any lute players here watching, then you can also learn the soprano lute, Sorry.
And that's the one you have the pick that's like the long, skinny guy, right?
Yes. And I played with a feather.
The feather, yeah.
So it's
it's tuned totally different. It's tuned like if you were to take the three strings of a guitar and flip them like this.
G, B, E, and then A, D, G.
Kind of. So it's kind of it's more like fourths with a third.
A little bit out of tune but it's really like different strings, not metal strings. It's like nylon strings. It has been gut strings in the past,
And gut
and
frets.
then gut frets, and
The grandmother of all of our
six
mandolins.
double strings, as you see, instead, and so a very different tuning, but it's
And a fixed
a
bridge.
lot of fun. Fixed bridge.
And all of her students at the conservatory play this instrument as well as the Neapolitan one. So it's very fun to visit Wuppertal if you're ever here.
If you're here, come and visit.
In fact, we're doing a little concert with them all in a couple of weeks.
We have a big concert. It's not a little, at a big festival. In 2 weeks, I'm gonna play with my whole mandolin class, and we're gonna have a big concert. And Mike is invited to join us, and we will also do a piece with him. So by Leonard Bernstein, cool. And then we play also an ensemble on the early mandolins. So we have like 10 students playing the early mandolin, and then a theorbo player and a bass player.
There's a big festival that happens every 4 years for where all the mandolin orchestras from
There's
all
like
over the world.
1,000 mandolin players coming.
It's a
Awesome. Gotta put that on my calendar.
Yes, they're coming from like Australia and
Greece and
America,
Japan,
Israel, everywhere.
all these mandolin orchestras descend for 4 days in Bruxall, Germany, down south by Karlsruhe. Huh?
Yeah, so we have like every week now big, like all Monday rehearsals, so many hours till this happens.
That's
And then, yeah.
You must be getting ready to do something exciting, Sierra. You're constantly out there touring. Surprising that you're home this day.
Well, I appreciate Marcus and y'all being flexible with getting a good date on the books here. Now, like I said, I just got back home from a pretty busy tour and out west and for like 3 weeks, and now going to the New Orleans Jazz Festival Saturday, and then coming back home, and then actually I'll be kind of home for a couple weeks doing some stuff here in town, a little recording, but kind of getting into festival season. Got to jump into that world, so we got a busy year ahead of us.
Concerto for your band?
Yeah, so we finally just released it. I think I remember telling you about this like a couple years ago, but we were commissioned to do one of the pieces for the Fresh Grass Festival when we were playing the festival there a few years ago.
I heard little snippets of it and it sounded real nice.
Thank you. Yeah,
your band is just killing.
Oh man, I'm lucky to play with them. It's like they asked me, would you want to write a bluegrass concerto? And I thought, what does that even really mean? It's like I didn't grow up in the classical world, but I love that style of composition and really trying to like think about having cool counterpoint lines and things that we could sort of actually construct, but also wanted it to be kind of a little bit open with little pockets of improv in there too, kind of like you'd have in the bluegrass fiddle tune kind of approach. So it was really fun to work on, and we kind of started recording it around the time that I was finishing up my last record that came out last year. So it's kind of been just sitting there on the back burner waiting to come out. So it's nice. We just released it this month. So being able to, we played the full, all 3 movements every night on tour, and it was super fun.
Nice. Well, Kat just recorded a very historic record last year. Telemann wrote a whole suite of fantasies for solo violin.
Wow.
It's a Baroque composer, Georg Philipp Telemann. And we release the CDs out if you are interested in like Baroque music on solo mandolin.
I think it's the first time it was ever recorded, all 12 fantasies for violin.
Wow. He lived at the same time like Johann Sebastian Bach, so it's the same kind of music language. And then we did another one together as a duo.
Yeah, but with the friends this time.
Yeah,
so we
with
had a
friends.
bunch of different instruments here and there, clarinet and a viola da gamba.
And accordion and,
Mike and Kat
percussion,
with other sounds. That was kind of fun.
And
so fun.
Oh yes, I was out just before coming back to Germany. I was out with this amazing Brazilian guitarist, Alessandro Panesi, who plays the 7-string guitar in the choro style. And we were out it was a long tour for me, it was like 13 dates in 15 days or something.
Yeah, that's a lot.
It's like your life, but it was fun to be out there hitting it every day and watching the music kind of open up and progress. And he's a monster player. I mean, he grew
Oh
up with
man,
style,
I love hearing you play all that stuff. It's so
Oh,
fun. I
so
wish I
it's-
knew more of it. You know,
You can
so
get
good.
it on Bandcamp.
Yeah, all of our stuff is on Bandcamp. I don't know if you've done that yet, Sierra.
You know, I did some of it around the pandemic where I was putting things up on there. Yeah, but
Yeah, we love that. That's a great
And your
resource.
stuff,
Yeah.
Sierra, where can we get this? Like, is it available?
well, yeah, everything's on the streaming platform. So we released it, just went ahead and released the 3 movements as the whole thing back a couple weeks ago now. But there's pre-order. You can go ahead and get the, if you come to the live show, we have like a little EP CD.
Okay.
But we're also doing a 12-inch vinyl, which I'm excited
Ooh.
about. So yeah,
Nice.
that's being printed right now, and so the vinyl release will be coming up here in a
I'll
month or
have to
so,
pick your
something like
brain
that.
on that because I've just did all the Bach cello suites on Mando
Cool.
cello, but I've not released it even on CD yet, and I was thinking of doing it as an LP. So
Yeah.
that's
Oh,
in the
people would love that.
Oh, yeah. It's just so much to carry, when you're flying. I
I
mean,
know.
3 mandolins, a mandocello,
Well, you
2
gotta have a bus
children.
tour.
Some of it you can give it, you put it on the website, right? Let the people get it that way.
mail
yeah.
order only.
Exactly.
I'm jumping off into my roots actually with a new project that I've just about finished, and it's me playing all the instruments and singing traditional bluegrass tunes.
Oh, dude, that's so fun.
It's all vocal stuff.
Oh, I
So
love that.
it will be a shocker for you and probably everyone out there.
Oh, that's killer.
I love
Hell,
it.
Mike
Yeah.
Marshall singing.
Singing.
There's something about living in Germany here that I've really taken to my roots in a way.
Yeah.
Maybe just missing home or
I
something.
can see that though. I can see how you like want to
I'm
kind
definitely
of
the best
remember that part of
in-
yourself and like
in Whooper.
But Mike is also, he's going now to German classes. He's learning German. After like 20 years being with me, he decided he should maybe learn the language, which I really appreciate.
Well, I tried it on my own for years, like with tapes and CDs and
It's a hard language.
I'm
Duolingo.
sure. Oh,
learn it that way. I've decided, at least I can't. Being in a class is helping a lot.
Luckily, I speak a little bit English, so we can
That's-
communicate.
Everyone here speaks English. You can be lazy and get by.
yeah. Oh, I imagine it's probably fun if you start kind of like learning an instrument, to like learn something new and start feeling like you're actually getting somewhere with it where you could actually communicate. I don't speak any other languages. I wish I did, but yeah,
Yeah.
that's awesome. Good for you.
A language also, so it's so related actually, and I think
Totally.
I think that you guys are very musical also for languages. It's just that when you speak English and everybody understands in the whole world this language, then there's no need to learn it. Yeah, if you would be speaking maybe whatever Azerbaijanis or Finnish, then you
You'd have to learn,
you have
yeah.
to learn other.
I'm sure it's much like going to a jam, though. Like when you barely know a few chords and a few tunes, you're probably a little scared somebody's going to throw you a solo and you're not ready for it, or like trying to communicate and you sort of just want to be around it and observe. And, there's a certain amount of like vulnerability one would have to,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it's tough.
Somebody said, you speak Tennessee. I definitely speak Tennessee. Yeah.
Yeah, somebody said that. All right.
And sometimes I have to translate for my band, when I say something really out there from the holler. They don't know what I'm saying.
Yeah. Well, this has been great, and I wanted to encourage folks to sign up if you're interested in learning the mandolin. Of course, you have to take all 3 of our classes if you take any one of them, just to be
You
egalitarian.
see the mandolin from 3 different perspectives.
That's right. No, but it's really a wonderful way to learn, and it's very different than trying to do it yourself, I can tell you. Just like my learning German, I tried to do it my own, and I couldn't. So now here I am in a class and I can ask questions and this teacher is helping me and it's tremendous. And so the folks who send us videos, I don't know if folks even understand how ArtistWorks works, but as a student, you make a video of yourself playing and we will watch it and make a response video back telling you the different things you can do. So while it's not a live Skype lesson, it is 100 times better than you trying to learn from us just from a video of us showing you. So I can preach the gospel about the system. It's wonderful. So
Somebody's asking about the fifth cello suite, I think. If you-
did you tune down the A string for the fifth cello suite? You bet I did. That was the only way to get a couple of those chords, and I love the sound of it because it's in G. So the Mandocello is tuned C, G, D, A. But when you tune that A string down to G, you get a nice open G chord on the top 3 strings. And I also played the sixth cello suite, which is written for a 5-string cello, but I played those high notes on this same instrument because I wanted the whole recording to be the same sound. This beautiful Monteleone Mandocello has such a gorgeous sound, but it was very tricky to get set up. I had to use a super light string. I had to do some work on the end of the fingerboard because I used literally the last fret on this instrument for one of the movements.
Wow.
Just to get a clear sound.
So when does that come out? That's not out yet?
It's out on Bandcamp.
When is out? Oh, on Bandcamp. It is already out. Cool.
But I really want to do an LP, and crazy as I am. Of course, it'd be 3 LPs, I think, to get all that stuff, because it's 6
awesome.
weeks, and they're each 20 minutes long. So.
Wow. So inspiring, both of you.
Yes.
Oh, Sierra, you're killing it out there. And I just want to shout out that there's so many wonderful young women playing mandolin now, mainly because of you.
Aww.
And of course, Sarah Jarose and so many. But your generation were some of the first great mandolin players out
It's
there.
funny because in my world, I grew up only women playing the mandolin. And I want to say, oh, it's so nice that there's some men also playing the mandolin.
Isn't it funny? It's such a different, kind of divide.
10 female students and then 1 boy or 2, And so it's changed a little bit over the years. So finally, a few boys are showing up, or men.
That's so different in Germany.
Yeah,
in
it's
that
a different.
way. But in America now,
atmosphere.
there's so many young girls playing. And
It's really exciting to see. Yeah, I mean, when I was growing up, all my heroes were guys. I mean, and wonderful humans who always made me feel like I had a seat at the table. It was never kind of like, it never felt like them and me, you know what I mean? And I'm sure Sarah would say similar things and some of the other gals out there, but it just was most of the people recording kind of in the mandolin spotlight that were the people to learn from and to be excited by, and that became our heroes were male, so it is really awesome to just see all the young great gals out there who are just crushing it. Makes me really, really proud.
The mandolin is also just so popular. It seems like it's a very good time for the mandolin. Those last
it sure does.
decades. It's just like very. Also in the classical world, the mandolin is exploring. You can hear the mandolin in big halls, and we are playing. Big halls, which when I was a child, the mandolin didn't have a place because the mandolin didn't have this reputation as a classical instrument in the past. Yeah.
Right. Now we have so much access to all these different styles, whether you're talking about Brazilian, there's so many great Brazilian mandolin players, and of course America with all the bluegrass.
Germany, Japan. Also in Japan is an amazing classical mandolin scene, fantastic mandolin
with the orchestras, really big orchestras with like 10 mandocellos. I mean,
That's
it's
so
like
cool.
monstrous sound.
Yeah.
So let's just keep it going here. I don't know if Marcos, you want to jump back in and bring this thing to a close, or what's the next one?
Yeah, this has been so much fun. There was a ton of questions that came in. I think you guys hit a lot of them. But I think just given where we are with time, it would be awesome if you guys would play a little more for us.
We didn't play much at all, did
Should we
we?
play a little bit of this?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, the Fustenberg.
Just 1 movement or so. It's just to have something really different to you, Sierra. We will play something more from the 18th century, something. Okay.
Awesome.
This is Fustenberg.
It's on our new duo CD.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it repeats those same chords with many, many
Yeah, there's
variations.
like 7
So
variations.
beautiful.
Nice. Wish we
All
could
right.
pick one together, Sierra.
Yes, yeah.
I know. Hey, this is fun for me though. I like having a front row concert to y'all's duo. It's great. That's great. Well, maybe I'll play a little. We were talking about the concerto thing that I just released. Maybe I'll play a little bit. There's one movement that we've played a lot in our live show. And I said it was fun to play all three together, but we've played the third movement quite a bit in the live stream, or in the live show rather. So maybe for the live stream here, I'll play you just a little bit of the beginning of movement 3. This is usually the fiddle part. And then there's more that comes along with it. But that's a little piece of it.
I love seeing the harmonics. I'll bet you can hardly hear those when the
Oh yeah,
band's.
the 7th fret harmonicas.
Yeah.
I think we had a show at the end.
Mandocello? Oh, we did. I don't know. What are folks up for here? And I have a gold tone mandocello. I like it a lot. Hybrid picking on mandolin. Really. I need a mandocello now. I love that.
Yeah. I finally got to meet John Monteleone.
You did?
I did. I jumped on a few of the Flicktones Christmas shows kind of last minute when Howard got sick, and and he came out to one of the shows. I forget, somewhere up in the New York area maybe.
Wow. And this was the first one he ever made, and just,
man, what a beautiful one that is. It sounds so good in your hands, especially.
Wow. Anyway, yeah, on our sites you can learn every style of mandolin. I mean, whether it's classical, Caterina's 400 years of history of the mandolin.
Mine has a lot of hamburgers. Ate too much.
That's awesome. And Sierra's, of course, your site is more bluegrass based, and mine is primarily, the curriculum is mostly bluegrass, and about halfway through we get into jazz and swing, and then there's a whole Brazilian choro section that I brought in some rhythm section guys to help explain how to play those rhythms and how to play that style I fell in love with, and have recorded a lot of that music and continue to learn every day. Especially this last tour I did with Alessandro, it was incredibly inspiring to be around somebody who grew up in that music the way we grew up in bluegrass.
Totally.
I know.
Totally. And I mean,
40 tunes and he knows 400.
Totally. Well, that's the thing is because I'm so rooted in bluegrass, obviously I love all kinds of different things and I play some more progressive things, but my real foundation was built in bluegrass. So when I talk about like what I can really offer folks, I think in terms of
Yeah.
like from the beginning and setting a foundation, to me, that's sort of the world I know and the world that I feel like I can kind of expand the most upon. But people, as they do in your course as well, both of you can, there's miscellaneous things people submit. They submit kind of all kinds of things,
Oh,
so
boy.
I'm certainly not your expert when it comes to classical or jazz or short of tunes and that kind of a thing, but there's all kinds of things to be dove into, and octave mandolin, some on my course, and of course mandocello on yours as well. So yeah, it's a pretty open platform, really.
Yeah, I'm teaching mostly the real original music from the 400 centuries of music, what was written for the mandolin, or also of course other composers. But and if anybody loves Baroque music or also wants to learn, there's also a course for the Baroque mandolin. You can actually also learn this instrument. You just need to buy one somewhere or
Have one built.
Yeah, have one built. But
yeah, I get sent a lot of different things, and it's always kind of curious. And I always sometimes I have to learn the tune because it might be an Irish thing or some Italian piece or a pop tune that somebody arranged for solo mandolin, and then it's fun for me to have to go back and research something maybe I heard but never played it on the mandolin, and then help them with it. And of course, we keep all the charts. Whenever I create a chart for a new tune, there's all that stuff is accessible, and there's play-along tracks with on all of our sites.
180 lessons I recorded. You have similar, and probably you too. Yes, here.
So it's a great resource. Thank you, Marcos, for running the site and making it run so smoothly. That's really quite a feat. You and the team there. People are sending you videos in all kinds of formats. And sometimes it doesn't play. You make it play. I don't know how you do that, but
just one little thing that I'll say. Somebody said something about I found the answers to questions too general. Here, and I'm like, well, that's part of what the beauty of being able to have a course exchange with ArtistWorks is, because there's really more than what I could sit here and talk for 20 minutes about left hand technique alone, or and I'm sure you could too, and it's like harder to do that on a platform like this. But I do think that's the beauty of the course, where stuff is really more of a deep dive. And if there's things beyond that deep dive, you get to have that one-on-one exchange with folks, because there are some things that are general to talk about, but there's also things that become very specific, because we're all humans, we're all different in the way our hand shapes are, the way things, kind of come naturally to us on the instrument. So being able to do that one-on-one exchange, to me, is part of where the beauty lies with a course like ArtistWorks.
That's the only way that's the way to answer all those questions, is to see it and be able to.
Totally. Yeah.
So nice.
Fantastic. Yeah, thanks so much for being here with us today. This was really a treat. As always, it's always just a pleasure to be in your guys' company and hear you play. Thanks so much for the insight. And for everyone that's tuned in, if you're not already a student, please visit us at artistworks.com, and you can sign up for a 7-day free trial from any of these guys. Get in there, join the community, have some fun, get picking. We'd love to see you on there. And we will see you back here on our channel for the next one of these. So if you're not already subscribed, please hit a like on the ArtistWorks YouTube channel. And thanks again. Take care, you guys.
Thanks as always, Marcus. So good to see you, Mike and Kat. Take care.
Say hi to Justin.